Hi, my name is Gerhard Gschwandtner. Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Justin Zappulla. He's a managing partner of Janek Performance Group. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Gerhard.
We are still in that COVID bubble and where everything has shifted to virtual sales. What are the requirements for salespeople to be as proficient virtually as there are in their former jobs, in their former environment?
The world of sales is always evolving, but this was a big one, that salespeople had to get ready for. So, I think one of the biggest differences, or one of the things they have to be ready for, is we all know it's an advantage to be able to be face to face with a customer in sales. It's easier to connect, versus writing emails or over the phone. And in this virtual environment, certainly we lost that, but there were some tools that enable us to still do that. So to be a great virtual seller, one of the things that you have to have down is some technical skills. You have to be technologically adept and proficient with these tools to be able to use the tool, use some of the features in the tool to troubleshoot, if you have issues. I kind of think like if you were going into a sales presentation, some of the things that you do, you get there early, you go check out the room, right? You set up your projector and make sure that your presentation's on the projector, you got your materials out. Well, all of those things still need to happen in order to have a smooth sales presentation or a sales call, but they're just different.
So there's a skills part, but also there's a mindset part. How is that shifting?
We talked a lot about salespeople about understanding that mindset and kind of teaching this as your virtual stage, or treating it, as your virtual stage. So to be on stage, to be ready to engage your audience in this virtual way, things like eye contact and other kind of virtual engaging skills, to be able to do so. So you're right, you have to have your mindset wrapped around this and be ready to deliver these great sales calls or sales presentations, but to do so in a different environment.
So what are some of the guidelines for showing up well online in a Zoom face-to-face call?
So I think of a few. One, I think about your virtual stage, your background. Be aware of what's behind you and make sure that you're showing up the way that you'd like to show up. This is part of your personal brand or your professional brand. The other thing is you have equipment now too. You want to have a good webcam to make sure that you're nice and clear. You got to pay attention to lighting. Backlighting will kind of fade you out a bit, making sure you have a nice quiet space.
So what do you think of virtual backgrounds where you change the background as you speak and, depending on the mood?
I don't have an issue at all with virtual backgrounds. Obviously, it needs to be consistent with your brand, right? So what it says about you and your organization. We do notice that sometimes some of the virtual backgrounds won't show up well based on what you're wearing,
yeah,
or based on the color that's behind you.
Yeah.
So we even have some of our clients will actually set up a green screen, behind, because that's the one that will actually work the best with some of these kind of virtual backgrounds. Get on, test them, try them, make sure that you check it out before. Don't just jump on and give it a go the first time with the customer.
What are the things that salespeople should not do, like wearing a baseball cap or something?
There's a few things that we've been noticing with salespeople that we give them training on to help them. And one of them we've noticed a lot is just eye contact. Making sure salespeople understand that when you're talking, or when your customer's talking, they're looking at you, right? Your video. So in order to really connect with them, you have to have good eye contact, which means you can't necessarily be looking at your screen, or screen. Right. You have to be looking at the general direction of the camera. So right. I'm watching these sales presentations or in sales calls, and reps they're going through their decks that they're pulling up and they're reading their notes. But what they don't realize is the customer's looking at you or them, yeah. And they're looking over here, and then now the customer starts talking and they're looking over here. And so there's some adjustments that you have to make, right, in this virtual environment that you may not be aware of that are really important.
Are there any other tips that you would like to add, special things that you do that sets you apart?
I think the virtual platforms give us a great opportunity to collaborate. And now you can share information easier. You can just share your screen, you can pull it up, but you also have these platforms that have features in them. You can highlight, you can draw on it, you can circle, you can, type up notes. So I've just found that you can engage your audience, right, in a different way and even collaborate in a different way. And we highly recommend this to be able to do that, because again, you want to engage, you want to be more interesting, you want to find ways to do that, and that can be a great way to do it. So we help sellers understand that, and also make sure that they practice so they can do this fluidly, excuse me, as they go from document to document, and they circle and they pull up different assets during the call. But that can be a great supplement to a sales presentation or a sales call. And you're on a computer, so you have everything right here. You have access to everything.
Awesome. Well, for anybody who would like to learn more on how to become a virtual seller, visit
Janek.com, Janek.com.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, thank you, Gerhard.